This morning I crawled out of my bed. My back was really aching. My eyes were cherry red. It's just the morning after. I don't remember who was here. I'll eat a slice of that cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. I got that not so fresh feeling from my head down to my toes. I think I had a good time. Heaven only knows it's just the morning after. Lord, it's funky up in here. Help me now, yeah. I'll eat a slice of cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. Yeah, you got it now, hey.
Hey, you got it now. Hey, you got it now. What's going on? It's the morning after with JP and Big Joe. What's going on, Big Joe?
Hey, another day out here in the mountains, I guess.
Yes. We're actually going to kick off this episode with my favorite segment of the show. Where in the world is Big Joe? So you're still in Colorado somewhere, but you're not in Denver. What's going on?
Yeah, we took a little trip up into the mountains about 5 hours away in a Telluride. It's a big mountain skiing resort area place. Man, the resort that I'm staying at has like a little town center that's almost like freaking Disneyland, you know, like
Ooh.
it's kind of weird, you know, just without all the stuff, but it's pretty incredible. There's no snow out here, but you can see the slopes and all the stuff, and everyone's mountain biking down that, and it's pretty incredible to watch, you know. So looks like there's action going on here year round.
So there's like ski slopes, but no snow. Just dirt.
So you take the shoot, what is that called? I want to call it a trolley. It's not a trolley, but you take the little lift up there. Yeah. And your bike goes up there on a separate lift, and you get up to the top, and I see people bombing down these trails, these dirt trails that normally would have snow cover on it. And where we're at, we're in between two different little towns, so we have to take a trolley to get into town. We go up this big old mountain, come down, and it starts off like it's a ride at Disneyland, dude. And you're like, oh my god, and then it goes hella slow, and you're like, all right, this is cool. But your balls don't drop into your chest quite yet.
No.
You're about to think it is, but no.
Yeah. What is that feeling? What the hell is that? I remember that feeling of like your balls like floating. Weird. I remember being a kid and I went on a ride. Telling this story. I went on a ride. It was just some circular amusement, you know, a state fair ride, but it went up and down enough to give me that feeling. And I was a little kid, and I remember coming off the ride and telling my mom, I felt it in my tentacles.
Tentacles.
Yeah.
What are you, an anime character?
Yeah. A hentai character.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, I what the hell is that feeling? Anyway, so it's nice to know you're in a nice looking place. The sun is shining over there, man.
Yeah, it's it's gonna be up to around the 70s.
Oh, that's nice.
Yesterday. Yeah, so it's beautiful. The wind just picked up. But yeah, it's one of those days where you're sitting in the sun, you're like, ooh, it's starting to get a little hot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's perfect weather for me.
You ever ski or snowboard?
No, I'm horrible at it. Just like you won't see me on a skate.
Yeah, you're 6'6". Can you imagine yourself going down a mountain on a snowboard?
Yeah, it's like the cartoons where you start off as the little ball and then you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's gonna be me. It's gravity's not my friend, and I'm not balanced. I learned that a long time ago. I've only been snowboarding once, and it sucked.
Yeah,
and I didn't enjoy it.
So you weren't even able to. Were you able to get to the bottom of the hill without falling? I
didn't even go to the top of the hill because I couldn't get through the instruction class.
So you just stayed with the little kids and the little kid.
I took like 7 classes just because everyone else, the group that it went up, I just stayed with all the little kids and the instructor, and pretty soon I was just a prop. Everyone thought I worked there. That was the only reason why I wasn't going up.
Snowboarding and skiing to me always seemed like something. If you want to become good at it, you have to have a lot of money. Because it's expensive to get up there. I feel like all the kids that were good at like snowboarding were like trust fund kids.
You're seeing a lot of that up here too, and a lot of business people that are just coming up here for the weekend. And this is their activity. You drive 5 hours to get here, and you spend the weekend up here, and then you go home and go to work. I hear of a lot of people coming up here, and that's just what they do, either mountain biking or hiking or snowboarding.
Well, shit.
Or skiing.
Tell you ride.
But it's a pretty popular spot. I don't know, being up here in the mountains, I find myself, even sitting down, I'm losing my breath. It's I don't want to say the air's thinner, but the altitude, man, just I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sitting there going, ooh, I just lost my breath, and we're just walking, dude, or you're just sitting there.
I think you said it. I think the air is literally thinner up there. That's why dudes can jack home runs in Coors Field like a lot easier than somewhere else with the ball just like sails. I'm serious.
Yeah. I didn't get to see it. I was at the Rockies Stadium. But we were outside eating lunch and yelling to having Bobby Bean let us in, but it didn't happen.
Billy Bean, you meant?
Billy, Bobby.
You mean the Moneyball guy?
Yeah, the money Fight Club guy.
Yeah, sorry to call you out on air, but it's Billy Bean, man.
Bobby didn't feel right.
Billy Bean. Does he still work with the A's, the real Billy Bean?
I believe he does, yeah.
Remember how big of a fucking deal that was when you heard that like Brad Pitt was in town like filming stuff at the Coliseum?
No, that was and then you also had Star-Lord out there too.
Really? Oh, he was Scott Hatterberg. He played Scott Hatterberg. That's right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I wanted to say Chris.
Bobby Pratt.
Bobby. That's right. I totally forgot he was in that movie. It was a good movie. Boring.
That was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're an A's fan. Are they going to move out of that Coliseum or what?
You know what? Honestly, since I moved out of the Bay Area, I stopped getting the local BuzzFeed about that, and I think they're still trying to get something down by the port. But I used to hear it every morning, but now I don't hear nothing about it just because it's not my local news.
Well, they've been talking about moving the A's for so long. I thought for sure it would have happened already, but by now the Warriors and the Raiders have already moved out, and the A's are actually the only team that's left.
They have the A's. They actually, what they did, and I don't know the state of it now, but they put an arena football team in the whatever the Warriors played in, and because of COVID, that never lifted off. I think they were the Panthers. I read about that. I was like, all right, I'd go. I'm not a big football fan, but I'd go see some team that started up. You remember you used to follow the minor league hockey team, the San Francisco Bulls. I remember you were all about the Bulls. Oh, dude, I loved it, and they owe me a lot of money because I bought season tickets, and then the team folded because they couldn't get investors because they sucked. But my favorite memory about that was they were up and starting, and I was out there cheering. You're like, yeah, this is awesome. And one of the guys looked at me they were coming off the ice, and he just gives me like a hell yeah, dude, thanks for, like, one of the players acknowledged me, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. He acknowledged me. You go to an actual game, sometimes they're not going to acknowledge you. They'll acknowledge the little kids and throw a puck over there, but not anybody who's raging hella tough, and I had a lot of fun doing the Bulls. But yeah, man, I bought season tickets, and they folded, and I was in contact with somebody, and then eventually everything shut down to hopefully that one day in a class action lawsuit I'll get some money, but I doubt it.
You can't be the only one.
No, I'm definitely not. Like, I was in contact with somebody and just never got the money, and all phone numbers were disconnected.
Wow. So whoever worked for the San Francisco Bulls, Big Joe's got a bone to pick with you. You owe him some fucking money.
Or some hockey, man. Shit.
Or just become a team again and make us happy.
Or invite me over and I'll watch you play street hockey. I'll cheer for you.
Did you ever? I can't picture you playing street hockey.
I did play a lot of street hockey growing up.
Were you a goalie?
No, I always dressed up my brother in the goalie gear, and we always fought him because he was padded.
Really? I thought since you're 6'6", and I'm not calling you fat, but
so being a big guy and going through middle school and high school, you know, they make you change and all that shit. And that's uncomfortable. That's weird. So, but all through PE, I would never dress up. I'd say, fuck this. But then when hockey, and then I was known for not being a good athlete. And whenever hockey came around, I'd always name my team the losers, and we'd always win because I actually knew how to. No one expected it. Was out of left field, and the losers always beat your ass because I was hella good at street hockey. Because I played with one of my neighbors. His dad was he played hockey in a minor league, and he was a goalie, and he was good. And just we had all the gear, we had all the. That's how I got to love the Sharks because I'd always go to his house, and they'd always be watching the game. Bunch of memorabilia in his garage, jerseys, toys, pucks. Oh. It was fun.
Remember when all sports were new and stuff, and you're getting into stuff for the first time? Oh boy, those were the days.
I know it.
You know what? Some sports are fun again. I kind of lost interest in basketball for a lot for several years, but now I'm super invested in it again. I love it. And I feel like a kid again. Oh. I've got some information here, Joe.
Uh-oh.
Got some information.
It's not Bobby Bean?
No. So the elevation where you are is 8,750 feet. That's pretty damn high. And then for context, Benicia is 26 feet.
Yeah.
So you've been training your lungs at 26 feet for most of your life, and now you're up there at 8750. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time breathing, man.
No, and then you stand up and you get all lightheaded. Like, I was even driving out here and going, whoa, something's wrong. Like, do I need to eat lunch, or am I, like, fucking need some sugar or something? Like,
yeah.
No, it's just the elevation, dude.
Yeah,
driving through the mountains were pretty intense. It was a fun ride.
You get winded from driving.
Dude, it just comes in spurts. You'll just be sitting there, and then I start breathing heavy and going, what's going on?
Be careful when you're behind the wheel. Yeah, man. I got some people in the chat here. Cyber Sid. Oh, I know that dude.
Killer bass player.
Sid from Premonition. Cyber Sid. What's up, bro? Love this guy. He fed me a chip while I was on stage one time.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was, I'll never forget that. I forgot most things from that LA trip, but I remember we were just about to start, and he was eating like a bag of Lay's, and he was in the front row with his girl, and he was like, And I was all, yeah. and I didn't grab it. I ate it I grabbed it with my mouth. I chomped it right out of his sweaty Riff House fingies.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah, Sid, good dude. Yeah, so what do you say we bring our guest on? I forgot to mention we've got Jose on the show. Jose Barrales from Macrocosm. Hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I realized that band names, I'm usually not pronouncing them. Weren't we just last week?
We were.
What?
Necrot?
Necrot. Was it Necrot?
Necrot.
Necrot.
It was Necrot, but people were calling it Crot, and maybe just because of how it's pronounced by some of the band members.
Okay. Yeah, because you've got an Italian dude in that band. He puts a little sauce on there, a little pronunciation. But anyway, regardless. Yeah, so we got Jose coming on the show, and let's bring him in. What do you say? Without further ado, let's bring in Jose. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing, man? So now that you're here, please clear it up for us. Macrocosm, am I saying that right?
That's actually correct.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone really mispronounce it, so that's good. Yeah. I get the whole like Necrot and Necrot. I mean, I didn't know how to pronounce it either. I would get made fun of because I'd be like, "Oh, it's Necrot," and it's. I heard the episode the other day, and it's like Necrod. I'm like, oh shit, I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Well, that's why we do this for educational purposes, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Like Mr. Rogers.
How is Macrocosm going, man? So you guys got a new album. Is it coming out this year or what?
It was supposed to come out this year, and then with the whole pandemic and that, it got pushed back. We were in the middle of recording. We're in the studio while all this went down, and it got pushed back. We actually had to re-record some stuff due to that because the studio wasn't open. So we recorded some guitar parts and stuff that was missing. And then finally, I think last month we got done with it. And Damien from Horrified is doing, from Horrendous, sorry, is doing the mixing and mastering on that.
Okay. Is it a situation where you're sort of like tracking guitars at home and then like sending them in to be reamped kind of thing, or?
Yes, it's definitely that. Well, at first we were going to do everything at the studio that we were at, and then we had to re-record everything at home. So we did DI and then getting reamped. Okay. So we already had the drums done, the bass, everything. It was just the guitars that needed to be redone.
Okay. Well, drums are the hardest. If you got the drums done, be happy.
Yeah.
You're about halfway there.
He actually knocked it out in about a day. And that guy, I don't know if you know my drummer, his name's Steven Ramirez. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's never been in any big bands, like huge bands, but he's such a professional drummer. My God, he's so great. But yeah, he knocked it out one day.
Yeah, man. It's one day. That's insane. How many songs?
8 songs.
That's insane. For a drummer to knock all that out in one day is insane. Yeah, I just spent a week in the studio doing drums a few months ago, and it was it took a long time. So props to that dude. So what's up? What's up with the release? Can you tell us anything? Do you have a name for the album or like when it's coming out?
We don't. We're actually speaking to a few labels. We got hit up by a few labels about that. So once we settle that and we sort that out, then we'll be ahead. We'll be able to name the release and when it's going to get released.
Awesome.
In the meantime, I've also, during the pandemic, I actually got with a few guys from the local scene here, with semi-local bands, I guess you can say. Some of the guys that I'm really into or been into since I was with Bonded. And some of the Bonded guys as well. We have this project that we're going to release as well that is already done and getting mixed and mastered. And that one's going to be really cool. I'm really pumped about that one. It's just, we have a core group of dudes that made the music and have a lot of guest musicians coming in and out.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So how was that? How did that get recorded during these times?
We all just did it at home. Besides the drums are done at a studio, at Birdcage Studios. Shout out to that guy. He's really cool. He recorded the drums for us, but everything else was recorded at home. I have my own mic set up, and the rest of the guys have their guitar set up. So it was cool. And then everybody did their own, like we had guest solos, guest bass. It's a really cool project. I'm excited for that one. That's a 4-song EP.
Okay.
We already have everything done. We have a name for it and everything, but I'm keeping it all secret till I release it.
I was like, what's it called?
Yeah.
Any label interest in that?
What's that?
Any label interest in that?
I've actually been shopping it around, and there is some interest. Cool. The songs sound really cool, so I'm excited about that as well. That's going to be really cool. I have like dudes from. I almost gave it up. I'm not even going to say where the dudes are from.
You just got dudes ready to play.
I got a lot of dudes, a lot of cool dudes that you guys, I'm sure, know of. So it's really cool.
What's shopping an album like? What's shopping an album around like in 2020 as opposed to maybe 2008 when you were doing it with like Bonded by Blood?
It's a lot different, and I see things a lot different now as well. Since back then, you really needed that label push. Since not that the internet wasn't that big, but I feel like you can do a lot more stuff nowadays by yourself, doing it self-released. So for me, you basically send MP3s of certain things to different labels, and they either like it or not. But I feel like a lot of the contracts aren't as good as they used to be, as in like pushing you and like giving you as much marketing as you need, because I feel like you can do that yourself nowadays. If you're in the right market, if you have the right people that know how to market your music, even in your own band. Like before, you used to need like some guy to do graphic design for you, blah 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 for you, and I feel like a lot of us, we all know how to do that now, and it's not as difficult as it once was. And I mean, we're all doing metal. It's not like we're going to be superstar Metallica. That's very rare nowadays. So, you know, um, pushing music by yourself nowadays and self-releasing stuff's not that bad. So it's weighing out either being in a label or doing it yourself is not that hard to do nowadays. There's a lot of things you can just do yourself.
I get the impression, now tell me if this is true or not. I get the impression that labels nowadays ask a lot more from their bands and give a lot less. Just as you said, there's a lot less promotion from what I see. Have you experienced anything like that? It seems like labels are asking a lot more from bands as far as covering the costs of things and self-promotion and stuff like that.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I feel like they want you to put in for, you have to pay for everything up front, where you have to do the cover art, your shirt, everything has to be from you. They just basically distribute your album. And at least with me and my experience before, when I was Eric, and Eric gets a bad rep, like big time. And I get it because I know what they've done to bands. But for me personally, they put a lot of work into Bonded. They put us on all these festivals, and I don't see any label doing that nowadays. So especially smaller labels. But yeah, they do make the band. They basically make you pay for everything, and then you just have the I guess honor of being on a label, if that makes any sense. But to me, being in this business and being in this before, and it's not my first rodeo, that doesn't, like, there's no awe to that. Like, oh, I'm on a label now, cool, I can tell all my friends. Like, it doesn't matter to me. To me, it's about making music, and if they're gonna do something for me, there's something I can gain from that, then cool. But if not, then I'll just release it myself.
I see. Yeah, if there's okay, yeah, because what's the point of being on a label if you're not getting all the perks that come with it? You know.
Exactly.
Especially since they're everyone really relies on themselves for promotion these days. So, well, that you actually took my question. I was going to ask about Earache Records and how they treated you back in the day, but it seems like you have nothing but good things to say.
Yeah, they actually weren't bad. I mean, I know some bands. I think it depends on if they're really interested and want to push you, and if they just want you as a tax write-off. Because I know a lot of labels do that. And for us,
is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. They just grab like a few bands, and they're like, okay, we just need to have X amount of bands and blah blah blah. But for us, they really believed in us. Everything they said, they came through. You know, we literally got signed in like 2007. By the end of 2007, we were already in Europe touring. Everything they said came up. So it was just like, wow, like, I was like an 18-year-old kid and just being like, yeah, whoa, I was playing this, like the whiskey, and all of a sudden I'm here in London doing something. And that was a really cool experience for me. There was always bad sides to it. We toured back to back for like 5 years. That's really exhausting. That's really exhausting. So that's one of the reasons I had to kind of step back and be like, you know what, I got to kind of reevaluate this whole situation, because there's really no money coming in. Not that I needed all this cash, but I mean, I needed to survive as well. I couldn't just be living on a couch.
Yeah, and being in a band is expensive, no matter if you're making money or not. It costs money to be in a band.
Oh, definitely, a lot of money. It's a very expensive hobby, from the equipment to recording to promotion. Rent. It's expensive. Rent, yeah, exactly.
The tour van.
Yep.
Tour van.
Always breaking. We were riding this 1990s like Dodge van, dude. Oh my God. I mean, it was the best and the worst thing in the world. But yeah, that thing broke down so many times. It's not even funny.
What was it like being basically a kid? You said you're 18 years old out there. You said you're 18 years old in Europe, basically. What was it like just getting thrown out there in another country, being 18 years old, touring with a band? What's that like, man?
Dude, that was such an experience, just because I've never left California outside of going to Mexico due to somebody being sick or something in my family. So leaving the country was like the biggest experience for me. Whoa. And it wasn't just small shows. We were thrown into like some sold out shows. We were doing big old festivals. We were doing like, what were we doing? Bloodstock. We did a lot of big festivals, and it was just, and not even like the side stage. We were doing the main stages, like opening up the main stages, and that was insane. So it came from doing like, playing to 100 people in LA, 50 people in LA, to doing like thousands and thousands of people in Europe somewhere. And I was just like, it was a surreal experience. I don't even know how to describe it. You have to be there. It's just like, whoa, like I probably feel like Joe feels. I couldn't breathe. So it was just it's such a crazy experience, but it was a great experience. I mean, I learned so much. The funny thing, I just remembered, I was listening to watching another one of your podcasts, where you said you walked into the guys from Satan naked, changing. And that happened to me as well, but it was the guys from War. You know how they wear all their gear, all their suits. And I was backstage and I needed to grab a drink. And I was like, oh, they have drinks here at the fridge. I'm like, okay, I'll go check it out. So I go check it out. And they were butt naked, like completely butt naked. And they were just like, oh yeah, the beer's right there. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And I was like, oh my God.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, they're all butt naked. I just saw War, but they didn't care. They were just like, this happened before. They had like this face like, happens all the time. Yeah, the beer's right there. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, it seems like after a certain point, you just get used to people walking in on you butt ass naked before a show.
That was so funny, man. Those guys are great, though. Good guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you were just a fucking kid out there. Insane. Absolutely insane. So, at some point, after Exiled to Earth, you leave Bonded by Blood. What's going on in the interim between then and Macrocosm?
Well, I took some years off, and by some years I mean like I think it was 5-6 years before.
That was around 2010, I believe, is when you departed. Yeah.
And so I left. I kind of wanted to take a break from music in general. I had to like regroup, rethink my life in a way, because I'm like, man, I need to find a place to live. I need to find some job or something. It was just a whole like regrouping of myself and being like, okay, what do I do now? I spent X amount of years, like Bonded was my baby. So I spent from 16 all the way to 20 something, just putting my life and soul into this. And I had nothing else. I was just like, okay, I don't want to live on the couch. So I gave up. I didn't necessarily give up on music. I still played music here and there, and I listened to new releases. I kept my ear to new bands and whatnot, but I didn't see myself being in a band just because of the politics of it. Like being in a band with 4 other dudes, it's kind of hard. It's like having to please different egos and making sure that everyone's all right and talking to a certain person a certain way, because no matter how big or small your ego is, it's just hard dealing with that stuff. It's like having being in 4 or 5 different relationships, and they're all different. And so I just didn't want any part of that, and any of the politics and like metal and stuff like that. I just wasn't into it. And I did get invited to join different groups and stuff like that, bigger and smaller ones. It just wasn't my thing. Nothing against people that join bands. It's just, to me, I have to create something. I'm into making my own music and being passionate about it. I have no passion in singing somebody else's lyrics or playing somebody else's. It's not my thing. So I did that. People asked me to do that. I got hit up by a lot of people to create new music. Actually, Jerry, that's in Witch Haven now, and in Macrocosm as well, and was in Bonded, hit me up a few times, like, hey, let's make new music, blah, blah, blah. And there was a time during I think 3 years or 2 years after I left Bonded, that I created this band called Wormhole for a while, which is still going on now. And they're more of a instrumental band now. And they renamed Project Wormhole, which is a really cool band. My drummer that's in Macrocosm now is in that band as well, and he's really good.
A lot of similar members. I saw Project Wormhole. Yeah,
definitely. So that just kind of like fizzled out. I couldn't do it anymore because of the same things. It was just like things from Bonded came back into this band because Jerry was in this band, and it was just things that I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm not ready to be in a band again. And usually because I took care of most of the business in the background, like I did the marketing, I took care of booking stuff, and all that stuff is a lot of like, it's the job that gets no love. It's just like everybody's like, yeah, like I play guitar and I make the riffs and blah blah, but nobody cares about the guy that's booking, cares about the guy that's dealing with all the interviews or whatever. They think it's like, oh, you're getting all the fame and the this and that, but it's not really that. It's like a big stressful job.
It's a job. Yeah,
it's definitely, and it's very stressful. You have to deal with everybody. Like, oh, make sure we get paid this day when we're on tour. Make sure this, make sure that, make sure everyone's all right. Make sure everyone's eating. Make sure everyone's blah blah blah. And everybody's kind of like, oh, this guy, he's not really doing much. So it took me a while. Jerry hit me up again. And I said, you know what? He gave me a good idea. Like, he came up with a good plan on a band. And I was digging the stuff that he was talking about. I was like, oh, this sounds cool. And then he brought up bringing Steven into the band. I was like, you know what? I love Steven. He's a great band. So basically Wormhole 2.0 with different guitarists. And it worked. We started jamming. It felt good. Everybody knew their role. It was just great. It felt like I didn't have as much stress on my back. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And everybody trusted me and I trusted them. And everybody trusted each other. So then Macrocosm came to be. I was actually a little bit skeptical if people still remembered who I was from the Bonded days. Like even for leading up to that first show when we first played, I was like, is anybody even going to show up? Like, I don't even know what's going to happen. And we played in my hometown in Pomona, and that place was sold out. It was a fucking amazing show. And after that, it was just like, whoa, okay, let's fucking keep doing this shit. And
yeah, man, much love and respect. Your reputation precedes you, clearly. Going back to what you were saying earlier, you got 4 or 5 guys in a band, say bonded by blood. It's hard to make. I find it's hard to make art when you have a group of people, because you got to run your art, by 4 other guys. Was it a situation in Bonded where like 4 or 5 guys, they're all trying to get their shit in and nobody can agree? Did you get that kind of?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely like that. And like we were heading in totally different directions, especially after Exiled. I kind of wanted it to take it a certain way. Some people agreed with me. Some people were like, nah, we got to go more like this way.
Exactly. I'm curious.
Where
did you want to?
I actually wanted to go a little bit heavier, more grindy.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the guys wanted to take it more like a Degent kind of style. I think that you hear that more in their 3rd release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way they went. I didn't really want to go that way. I just wanted to keep it more heavy, fast, kind of go back to the Feed the Beast era, but with a little bit more between Feed the Beast and Exiled, just heavier influences. I was getting a lot more into grindcore and I've always been into grindcore for a long time and into punk, but I wanted to influence that into the Bonded stuff. And some people agreed and some people didn't. A lot of like Alex is a great guitarist and Juan is as well. They're fucking amazing guitarists. And they were into they're into Steve Vai and all those like very, very great guitarists, and they wanted to put that influence in some Don Petrucci stuff. So a lot of stuff just was like not meshing just because it was like extreme. Like I wanted extreme raw shit and they wanted more like flowy guitar stuff, which I didn't mind, but sometimes they just don't marry each other well.
Right. Was it messy when you left? Not to get too personal, but was it a messy thing?
Yeah, I don't think it wasn't extremely messy, but I mean, it wasn't a happy ending.
Right.
Me and the guys didn't talk for a while. Me and them are actually some of the Bonded guys. I can actually say this are part of this new group that I'm talking about, which is really fucking cool. To make music with those guys again is amazing. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't talk to some of the guys for a while. I know we left in somewhat bad terms. Mm-hmm. They didn't want me to leave, and I didn't want to leave, but it just wasn't working for plenty of different reasons. On that last tour, we were on a tour with Exodus, Malevolent Creation, and I think Holy Grail. When I let them know in the middle of the tour that I was leaving, and that kind of left a sour note. They didn't like that, and they tried to fix it along the road, but it just didn't. I made my mind up. I was like, okay, once I get to Santa Ana, here in Orange County, the closest to home I can get, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna head home that day, and
In the middle of the tour.
Well, it was just the last. I think it was the last date.
Oh, okay. Last date.
I wasn't gonna do it.
Right. I mean, that's that. As you said, that's kind of your baby. That hurts.
Yeah. Of course, letting go of something that I put so much work into. It was just. I didn't know they were going to continue. I didn't know anything. I thought they were going to be like, you know what? Let's just call it quits and make something else. I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, they decided to continue. I don't think they're really playing anything now. I'm not sure. I didn't really bring up to the guys to see what they were doing. But yeah, that kind of, we kind of left on bad terms. But I talked to all of them now, and we're good.
That's good. A happy ending, And, when the super secret project comes out, I'll be excited to see who pops up on.
A lot of cool dudes in there.
So,
cool dudes.
What was that?
That's all I can say. Cool dudes.
Fair enough. Jose's not going to give. He's keeping his hand close to the chest, which is smart. So, Through the Gates of Terra, Macrocosm's EP, it came out a couple years ago. You guys did a couple shows. You did a show with Violation Wound, Big Joe's band, didn't you?
Yeah, we did it up at the Gilman. Really cool. I really wanted Joe. Well, I actually wanted Zombie to be on there just for old time's sake. Were
they not?
No, Zombie wasn't on there. I wish. What's going on, Joe? How come Zombie wasn't on there?
Yeah, what happened?
I just think that we weren't quite ready for to get anything going. Because we were playing one-off shows.
Yeah.
We played with Holy Grail when they came up at the DNA Lounge. So
and the guy stood on my amp. I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the members of Holy Grail, I didn't actually get to meet him, but I got mad at him because he was standing on top of my amp. I was like, "Hey, bro." I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but
Alex. I know Alex from Bonded is in Holy Grail now.
No, it wasn't. I know Alex. It wasn't Alex. Whatever. I think we made up by the end of the night. I remember seeing a guy stand while they were putting their Holy Grail banner up. He was standing on top of my brand new Randall Thrasher. I was like, oh no!
It wasn't even while they were playing either for stage effects.
It's an amp. It's gonna get fucked up. It's gonna get rugged. I don't know why. I think I was just in a bad mood. But anyway. To get too far off topic there, but I'm so bummed that I missed that show.
Oh yeah, so cool. Going back to that, so I talked to Joe of bringing Violation Wound in, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let me talk to the guys." And then he confirmed. I got the guys from Hemotoxin. That was really cool too. One of the guys in Macrocosm used to do guitars for Hemotoxin for a bit.
Really?
Yeah. So that's how we got Hemotoxin in, because Juan was like, "Hey, hit up Hemotoxin, they'll do it, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool, let's do it." And so I hit up Michael, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Juan's in this band. Yeah, let's fucking do it." So that was cool, man. I just wanted to go to the Bay. I hadn't been to the Bay in a long time, and wanted to play that one-off show out there and it was just a kick-ass show. We had that Laceration was on there. That was really cool too. I hadn't seen those guys in a long time, so it was a fucking banging show, dude. I liked it. It was fucking fun. So that was fun. How did you miss it, dude?
I fucked up, man. I was down here in Southern California fucking around, not going. It sucks that there's no shows in the future, but when you get this new record out, what does a band do? You promote it, you put a video out, and then you just kind of wait till the next one. What are you gonna do?
I actually don't know. Like, just keep making music, I guess, and pushing stuff through the internet. We actually already working on new music for Macrocosm. We actually want to have new music done and completed by the time this gets released, so like that people don't have to wait anymore, just like they waited so long for this new one because of what happened. And since we know that we can do everything at home now, and everybody's cool with that, and we like the production and how it sounds, we just kind of want to keep releasing stuff, whether it's through the label or by ourselves. It doesn't really matter to us. We just want to keep making new music and use the internet as a tool to just keep promoting stuff.
Just
if it takes off or not, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I like the music, and if it's good to me, I'm more making music for me now than it is to the fans. How it was before. It was more like, you know what, I really like this shit and I want to release it. And if one person listens to it, cool. If it's just my mom listening to it, cool. I just want to release music.
Does the process sort of feel new again now that you're sort of working from the ground up again? Not from the ground up, but you're almost from the ground up. Actually, you've got a whole new band here and a whole new set of material. Does it feel new again?
It does, and it's very exciting, and it's one of the main reasons I started making music with this band and the other projects I have going on, because it feels new. It doesn't feel dull. It feels exciting, and I miss that passion. And I feel like with any form of art, if you don't have passion, then why make it? So with this, it just feels like, wow, this is cool. This is new. This is exciting, and I love the material. So to me, it's just like so fucking badass. I don't know. It feels good.
It is some incredible death metal. It is much different than Bonded by Blood. It is very heavy, very technical, and you've got a section in the middle of it's the Centaurus A song, and it's so smooth. Like in the middle of it, you got like clean guitars, and the homie's like shredding over it. I was like, this is so tasteful. I was like really, really impressed by that EP, and it came out a couple of years ago, so I'm really excited to see what you guys got going on.
Yeah, that was one of my main things. I didn't want to make Bonded by Blood 2.0. Like that wasn't my goal. I just didn't want people to be like, oh, he's just kind of milking that whole Bonded by Blood thing and being like, oh, it's going to be the same rehash stuff. I didn't want to do that at all. I wanted to make sure this sounded different. I wanted to make sure the vocals were different a little bit. I still have the signature crying, cartoonish vocals I have, but at the same time, a little bit amped. And then having the dual vocals, that was really cool. That was a good idea. And just heavier, technical, jazzy, all of my influences in one, and bringing those guys' influences into this band. I think it worked out, and you guys are going to be fucking pumped for the album. I'm telling you, it takes the EP to the next level, I feel.
Nice. It's so you've definitely got a lot of influences when you hear it. How involved are you in the music writing sort of process? Do you ever pick up a guitar and say, hey, here's a riff?
I don't, but I'm that type of dude that they bring the music, and I'm like, you know what? It sounds better if you do this. I'm more of a mouth guitarist, I'm like, you got to do something, and they listen, and like, if it sucks and that idea sucks, then we throw it out the window. It's fine. I don't get my feelings hurt if like my idea doesn't work out. I know some people like they work like 3 hours on a riff, and like it has to be in it because I worked on it for 3 hours, and it's like sometimes that riff you worked on for 2 minutes is better. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's got to fit the song,
Exactly. So, yeah. And I'm glad that everybody's taken that approach to this band, where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I probably did work like longer on this riff or on this song, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we can move on with this song that we made in like the last minute. It's fine. So I like that. It's just going really smooth, and that's a big breath of fresh air.
When was the last time you guys were able to get into a room and jam with each other?
Earlier this year, but we've done like kind of like not like Zoom meetings, but like video meetings and stuff like that. And we've kind of like chopped around certain like riffs to each other via Guitar Pro or via like just recordings that we make like on our computer, and we send it out. And so that's how we're writing the new music. It's basically getting each other Guitar Pros or riffs that we recorded, and then having the drummer kind of jam to them, and that's about it. But we haven't been able to get into a studio and actually jam.
I do. I miss getting loud. I want to get loud.
Exactly. Especially because we have a lot of new material, and I really want to hear it like in a group, because we can you can hear it as much as you want on a Guitar Pro on the computer, but it's not the same as actually like playing live, loud, and in your face.
Totally.
So,
yeah. Speaking of live, Big Joe, you got some memories back in those old Thrasho de Mayo shows. Joe, Big Joe, you traveled down for one Thrasho de Mayo, didn't you?
Yeah, no, that's where I met Jose.
Is that right?
And we went down there. Zombie went down there and played. That was before you came in, so we still had Germ Warfare playing guitar for us. And we had a lot of fun I don't know. It was at a different venue this year, so everyone kind of had or that year, so everyone was a little bummed at that. But I know the show went on very long, and Evil Dead headlined, and
Oh yeah,
I think the show went on way too long. They went on like at like 2 in the morning or
in
something.
the morning. Yeah, that was I remember that. Yeah, because the one prior to that was at the Knitting Factory, I believe, and then they switched it up to this new venue. I forgot the name of the venue. Do you remember the name of the venue?
No, I don't remember. I heard the Knitting Factory closed. So
yeah, the Knitting Factory closed, and they moved it over to this venue. I forgot what it was called, but it was like somewhat like a kind of like a warehouse looking venue. The V, I don't remember, Vex or Hex, I don't remember, but yeah, I remember that show. It went on way too long.
Yeah, our merch tables were right next to each other. I remember pimping out your merch and trying to sell it for you.
So Evil Dead had to wait till 2 in the morning to get on stage.
Yeah,
that sucks, man. It's like you want to be the headlining band, but then when you're the headlining band, you don't get on stage till 2 in the morning, and there's barely anyone there. but that probably wasn't the case for Thrasho.
No, there were still people there. It just was late as hell. Talking about Evil Dead, have you guys heard the new? They just dropped a new. It's on my to listen list. They just dropped a new album, I believe.
I haven't gotten to it. I know they were putting songs out, but they are definitely on the radar again. They're on the map again.
Yeah, a bunch of these older bands or the Violence. I saw Violence do that Dead Kennedy cover. What'd you guys think about that?
I haven't gotten to that one either.
Yeah, I heard it. I didn't like it but personally, but I think it was the I don't know. I don't want to be a hater, but it had some political sort of undertones to it that sort of bummed me out. But
yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I probably feel the same way. So
yeah,
I was kind of disappointed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because that's the first thing Violence is released in forever, right?
Yeah. And I didn't expect a cover, although I love Dead Kennedys and I love Violence. It's just weird. It's just like a weird. Like I haven't released anything in years, and here's this cover, and then the video took it to another level. I was just like, well, okay, whatever.
I think everyone wanted a song, like an original song.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I wanted. I was like, I mean, Sean sounds pretty good still. I want to go see them live in up in the Bay and here in LA, and they kicked ass. They had energy, so I was expecting to kick ass.
You were at those what was it, Killian on Contact shows, or what was it?
I didn't. It was a reunion, like I think it was last week.
Oh, okay.
So I did that. And then I did the one here in LA with Sacred Reich and them. That was really cool. Yeah.
Man, yeah, because it's been years. People have been clamoring for a Violence reunion, like a long time. When we were booking bands together for the Slaughter by the Water festivals, people were like hitting us up and sending us messages going like, get Violence. I'm like, it's not fucking easy.
Yeah.
You can't just get guys to play with each other. But now they're together.
Unite the band, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're back together, and I hope they're making people happy. So
there you go.
Yeah, man. So hey, keep us posted about your super secret project, Jose. We won't name it, but there is a super secret project going on with Jose. He's also got Macrocosm going on. Sick death metal band, as I've already mentioned. Please check them out. Their EP is on Spotify, probably anywhere you can stream music. I imagine, right? Yeah, Through the Gates of Terra, amazing shit. Jose, anything else you want to add, man? It's been a pleasure having you on.
No, thanks for having me on. Big shout out to Joe. Shout out to you, JP. Thank you for having me on. I'll gladly come back on and shoot the shit with you guys whenever you guys want to. Big shout out on my guitarist. He always wants me to shout him out. So big shout out to him, and can't wait for you guys to hear the new songs, man.
Sounds great. Before I have you leave here, did you guys have any beef with any other LA bands back in the day?
Why are you putting me on the spot like this?
I thought I'd slip it in right before we have you out.
It was a big old thing, and we're cool with each other now. But there's a big old thing with Fueled by Fire, and a big old thing with Merciless Death. Back in the day,
they were ruthless, merciless death. They didn't like anybody.
No, they thought everyone was a poser. So it is what it is. But we actually ended up going on a tour with Merciless Death, which is funny because they used to talk a lot of crap online. Mm-hmm. And like saying like, oh, Bonded by Blood, they're posers, blah, 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 whatever. And then we were on this Thrashing Like a Maniac tour. And I think our first show was in Sacramento. And so we played in Sacramento at this little bar. I forgot the name of it. But I went up to the singer and I was just like, hey, what's up, dude? Good set after they played their set. Because I had no beef with them. I didn't even know them personally. So I was just like, cool, man, good set. That shit was cool. And he's like, yo, thanks, man. I'm glad. Did you come over here as a fan? Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no, we're up next. We're Bonded by Blood. He's like, oh, shit, what the fuck? Blah, blah. And, you know, we squashed the beef. He was like, you know what? You guys are pretty cool. We talked about music and bands, and they were cool. Fueled by Fire, we had a beef with them for a while as well. Well, it was always like them having beef with us. I never was like talking shit about them. I never really – we were from different parts of the cities, and like right. They were like, oh, like they're not really from LA. We were from Pomona. It's like way far east of LA County. So
it was a territorial kind of thing.
It's kind of like a gang thing. I guess because we're Mexican. I don't know. And then, and so it was just like, oh, you know, we're from Norwalk and we're this and this and that. And then like we went on tour with them as well, and we squashed that beef as well. I'm really cool with Carlos from Fueled by Fire now. He's a really cool. I think he's in Blade Killer now, and he does a bunch of other cool stuff. I think Fueled by Fire is reuniting, so that's really cool too. And I'm really good. He's a good friend of mine, and so is Rick. And those guys are cool. Like I have nothing to talk shit about them. And then there was Warbringer. I'm really cool with John now, and I'm really cool with Carlos. Carlos Cruz he's in like everything. So that guy's cool.
Great drummer.
Yeah. Thinking about it now from like way back then when we were all kids and talking shit. That's all it was. Because then after we all started getting signed and getting touring with each other and blah, 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 everything kind of just ironed itself out and it was fine.
Find out that you have more in common than you do.
Exactly.
Than not, right?
Yeah. Then we had, what did we have? Oh, we never had beef with Witch Haven. They're from our side of the road. I guess me and Henry known each other for a long time. We were in the high school talent show together. So that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I was in a punk band. We were called Systematic Chaos. And then he was in a heavy metal band called Svenhards. And we played like the Pomona High talent show.
The video? Is there a video?
I don't know, probably somewhere.
Oh man,
a 2 megapixel camera or something.
Yeah, before everybody had a camera on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's all love now.
That was a really cool. Like, if you think about it, I've known him. I mean, I heard you guys talk when I was backstage about him being really, really active on Facebook and stuff like that. And I think about it now because he's a funny guy, and I talk to him like every other day. He messages me, like Facebook messages me every other day, talking about certain shit and like just shooting the shit. That guy's just so funny, man. So hysterical, so like hilarious. That guy's a funny guy. But I'm glad he's healthy now too. He was going through some medical problems for a while, and I'm glad Witch Haven comes back strong. So those people.
See, it's all love now, though. That's good.
It's all love. I have no beef with them. I mean, like, we're all in our 30s now. It's weird to have beef with them.
Yeah, I was just curious, because you guys sort of had a parallel. You guys were kind of going down the same path, and it's very easy to develop rivalries. I've been in bands that have, we've had our own, but we'll save that for another show. But I would like to talk about that one day, Big Joe. We can talk about all the bands that used to not like us.
And the pie.
And the pie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another episode.
Joe, you want to get into the pie story right now?
Yeah, I want to
I don't feel like talking about Hatchet and Jules. We'll save that for another time.
Okay.
We'll wait till we get Marcus on here.
All right. Another time. Well, Jose, we'll let you go, man. I know you're a busy dude. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. And everybody, check out Macrocosm. They fucking rule. Their Insta's right down there at the bottom of the screen. Through the Gates of Terra, their EP is available on Spotify and all sorts of different streaming platforms. So, Jose, thank you so much, my man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, dude.
All right, hell yeah. And there he goes. What a guy.
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy. That's
great
2 weeks.
Stage presence too.
I've seen footage. I've never seen him. I've never seen him perform. I've never seen him perform.
He's larger than life on stage too. Well, then playing all those stadium or stadium or not stadium but festivals. With you're not on that punk stage where you can't move or you're gonna be bumping into the drum set or your guitar player.
No, you gotta own.
You have to be animated. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fucking. One of these days I'll get to see him perform. What a killer dude. I'm actually surprised I've never met him. We're sort of parallel. We live parallel lives, dudes in bands. How far
are you from where he's at?
Yeah, I'm down here in Southern California now, but I'm not sure
because I don't even know where you're at.
I'm in Orange County, and I think he mentioned Santa Ana earlier, so I think he's somewhere around there. But that's 2 weeks in a row now. We've brought people on the show that I've never met before, and they turned out to be incredibly nice and easy to speak to. So I love that. Got some comments here. Let's see. This is good. Got Nick Gomez in the chat says, I shared a beef taco with Jose. That's got to be some kind of inside joke.
Uh-oh. At least it wasn't a fish taco.
Well, there it is. Shared a beef taco with Jose. Cyber says Premonition has beef with Jose. That can't be true. Can't be true because as with Folklore says, Premonition was way too nice to have beef. I agree. These guys were way too sweet.
Great guys. Fun dudes.
Way too sweet. MySpace drama, Nick says. Yeah, very possible. MySpace. What a time. What a time to be alive back in those MySpace music days.
I miss them. I mean, that's how we all got connected and found all these other bands. You're like, oh, Bonded by Blood. Well, who's this other band that's on their top 8? And you start. I don't know. It was a good format for us to network with each other, and I think we did so well. By the time Facebook came up, and it wasn't bands and your nicknames, and it was everybody's. We all knew each other and actually spent time with each other to where we're still connected now.
That was the first thing I said when I got on Facebook for the first time. I was like, how do I check out my profile? I was like, where do I put the music, and how do I make the background black and neon green, and how do I make
where's all the coding at?
Yeah, where's all the coding? But there was none of that, and I realized how terrible Facebook is for bands, and it only got worse. They didn't even try to make it better. They tried to make it worse throughout the years.
Yeah, they started making it impossible. You had to pay for them to actually view it. It wasn't popping up on their feed, and that's the worst part about Facebook is you get all this stuff on your feed shoved down your throat. And if you wanted to know about a band or a person, on MySpace, you just went to their page and you read their blog, and if I wanted to look at your shit, I just went to your page.
Yeah, and you get blasted with their favorite song as soon as you click on their page,
on their band and all the bands that they like, Yeah. And I always got in trouble because my band was always before, the girlfriend. On number 1 was the band, number 2 was the girlfriend, and then my friends and family and all that fun stuff. And then you got the top 38 where it took care of all of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You could extend it to top 1 billion, I think. But there is still, no matter how many are in your top friends, there is a number 1 position, and it's got to go to somebody. And the girlfriend could I can see baby mama getting offended. He wasn't happy. So, all right. Yeah. Well, those were the days, though. Let me tell you. Facebook sucks. So if everybody watching here could just delete their Facebook, that's it. Just delete it. MySpace was so much better, and we need a new one is the thing. We need a new format, a new thing. Now's the time. I mean, Bandcamp's pretty cool, right? People been doing Bandcamp.
And yeah, that's been going strong. I don't use that unless if I can't find you on Spotify or iTunes, you're going to be on Bandcamp.
Yeah. Actually, next week is Bandcamp Friday again.
Oh.
I think they're doing another Bandcamp Friday. So, yeah, bands, if you're out there listening, drop your Bandcamp in the comments or wherever you're watching this, and we'll have a look at it. Maybe we'll listen to it on air, and maybe we'll give our opinions on it. Maybe, I don't know. Not that our opinions.
See how we're feeling.
Yeah. But I'd love to give people shout outs, especially if they get a chance to earn a couple more dollars that day. So, well, Joe, it's been a fun show.
Definitely.
Yeah. It looks like you're getting baked out there. You having enough.
The sun's starting to slowly come my way, and it's getting me.
You've grown less enthusiastic about the show in the last 15 minutes as the sun has sort of drifted over on top of your head there.
I'm running out of coffee, and my little spot in the shade is definitely gone.
Fair enough. We usually run these shows for about an hour. Sometimes they go an hour and 15 minutes. And I think it's about that time we just get the hell out of here and this damn show. The meat, we've eaten the meat already. The meat of the show has passed. Jose's gone.
It's all the veggies that we're hiding in our napkin now. And
we're just kicking peas around. But I do appreciate everybody that's been watching. If you're watching us on Twitch, please throw a follow our way. Get us to affiliate status so we can afford to keep the lights on, as they say. I've had a great time. Big thanks to Jose from Macrocosm once again. Big thanks to you, as always, Joe. You got a pink. Is that a pink?
That is pink.
It is. I just noticed.
I like the colored ones.
I love it. Yeah, they make them brown, so but they make them brown so they like blend in with your hair. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I like it, especially because I got my hair, especially when the sun turns red, and now I'm starting to get streaks of gray in there, and I don't know, man. I might as well just add something in there.
I'm getting the gray now along the sides here, and it's cool. I like it. I'm
digging it too.
Yeah, nice. How long are you gonna let that beard go, man?
Ever since I started tying it up, and working in the restaurant industry, what I do is I just put it in here, and that's all I got. I think I'm not going to cut it.
Yeah, just let it go.
I just got this all fixed up for you. Looking good. It's not all wacky and
Thank you.
Quarantine beard.
Yeah, we were getting some emails. Like, what's up with that guy? By the way, if you do have an email, you want to contact the show, no problem. Email us at morningaftertv@gmail.com. We'll get back to you. Got any requests? Angry? Doesn't matter. Just drop us a line. We'll read it. Maybe we'll read it on the show. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Next week, do we have a guest, Big Joe?
We do have a guest.
Is that confirmed?
It's confirmed. We should probably reconfirm it. But
for those that don't know, Joe is pretty much chief in charge of booking our guests. He's been booking a lot of our guests for the last couple months we've been doing the show. So I have to confirm with him whether or not we have a guest next week or not. But I think we got the dynamic of the show down to where we don't really need a guest, but it's always better with one. So since we haven't confirmed, I guess we won't announce who's on the show.
You'll find out on Monday or Tuesday. That's
right. Every Monday I like to announce who's going to be on the show. So we'll do that. And I guess we'll sign off. It's been a good old time. Big Joe, you got anything else there, big guy?
Yeah, Painted Doll just put out a new album today.
Painted Doll, Dave Hill
and Chris Reifert.
Your bandmate in Violation Wound. I forgot he was involved.
That's right. Awesome. Yep, he plays the drums on that, and I believe he does. I know he does. He does guitar. and bass on there as well. I don't know if he did all the bass.
What's
we'll
that?
have to check.
Sorry, what's that new Painted Doll record called?
I don't have my notepad. Man, this is bad. It's something to something about fire. I can't remember what it is, but they do have a digital CD release party tonight. I believe that is. What's the date? It's tonight on their Facebook. You should check it out. And it's on vinyl. You can download it. I've already listened to it this morning.
How to draw fire. How to draw fire.
I said it before you did, son.
There we go. Okay, so how to draw fire. Yeah, Joe's a fan, and yeah, as a bandmate, the great Chris Reifert is involved with Painted Doll. So everybody check that out. I'd love to have Chris or Dave Hill on the show.
Working on it.
Yeah, hit up that Dave Hill guy. He's a famous dude. If we get a famous
he's a real funny guy. He comes up to the Bay Area once a year, if not more, for the Sketch Fest at least, and he's always doing things.
So yeah, funny.
He's great. I've seen him on TV.
This begins the search for the most famous guy we can get. So let's go for it. Dave Hill. Perfect. Somebody at that guy. All right, let's get out of here, Joe.
All right, man.
Love you, buddy. It's been a great time, and thanks everybody for watching. Follow us, and we'll see you here next week, Friday mornings. When? 10 a.m.
10 a.m. 11 for me. I'm an hour ahead. I get to sleep a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm up bright and early, 10 a.m. So yeah, check us out next week, every Friday. And for Big Joe, I'm JP. It's been the morning after. It's been a great time. See you next week. Woohoo! Love, peace, and chicken grease is what we said last time. And that one stuck. I got a text about that. Somebody was like, love, peace, and chicken grease. Until we write a new one, that's going to be it. Peace, love, peace, and chicken grease.